Good
Boom.
morning.
New feature for those that are watching and tuned in live. We've heard some issues with retention on live shows. People don't have a good attention span anymore. So we figured we'd try and solve that right here, Gino.
Up, left, right.
This was you
I'm
were
a
a
big
big
time.
Subway Surfer guy.
Big time.
Quincy, we can get a picture of that for the promo right now. The Subway Surfer going.
Yeah, that's nice. We should just have that the whole time.
I want that in my life. Like if I'm wearing the Meta Ray-Ban glasses, I want to just see like the kid. What was that kid from Ned's Declassified School Survival?
Cookies.
Cookies. Cookie.
Yes.
And you got a haircut.
I did get a haircut, Jack. I had also a weird day yesterday. I took a 30-minute scheduled nap that woke me up at midnight. It went 4 hours.
What?
I took a nap last night for like only 30 minutes, and I woke up at midnight.
Do you remember
ever
taking a
have
nap
one of
at 8 p.m.?
Yeah. It was just like a quick, no, it was 7 p.m. I took like a 30-minute nap, and I woke up at midnight.
Okay.
You ever have that?
No, yeah. When I was younger, in high school, I feel like I would come back home from school at like 3 p.m., sleep until like 8 p.m.
It's crazy.
And then your world is upside down. I heard sources were saying that you fell asleep on the barber's chair.
I did fall asleep. Something's going on with me. I couldn't stay up. I don't know. This is the live show. I hope you guys like this damn live show because it is doing stuff to me.
I got my run in this morning. I feel good.
Yes.
Feel great. Last stream of the week. It's Thursday, Gino, March 19th. Big show in store for everyone. We're doing the world famous 2-minute drill, some fun ones there. And then let's go through the list, Gino. Who you got?
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about branded entertainment, celebrities, LeBron talk.
Yeah.
LeBron talk. Hopefully, I want to ask how he smells with the McKelvey. What does LeBron smell like?
What's his scent?
Yeah.
What's my glorious king's scent?
And then we're gonna get into the Publicis versus Trade Desk conundrum, if you will.
Yeah, it's like the coolest stuff you can do in advertising and then the lamest stuff that happens, I would say, with programmatic and like getting into the intricacies of the chain of value from programmatic, how banner ads get placed. But it's causing some beef.
It touches a lot of lives too, and revenues are, it impacts revenue too. So we'll get the expert Kendra Barnett over there, senior tech reporter at ADWEEK, last slot on this show here. I'm curious about what's actually freaking happening.
I'm gonna ask the dumbest questions imaginable, but I'm very excited for Kendra because she's been on this beat and she did a great job telling this story in a very, very well done way. Yeah. I'm starting to get it. But I need her to fill in some spaces for me, Gino.
Yep. Shall we get into the world famous 2-minute drill?
Clap it up. Showtime, Gino. 2 minutes each topic. We'll run through them, all the marketing news from today that we're looking at that are the most important for you all out there. Let's get it going. We are starting here. Wendy's is on the lookout for a new media agency, Gino. This is a big one.
Yes, sir.
It's a biggie.
Spark Foundry was the incumbent and declined to defend here. I mean, it's a battle of the giants, Jack. We get excited about these ones. That's Spark Foundry. That's Publicis, yeah. And now it's Omnicom versus WPP. Two giants going at it for the U.S. media account.
Ross, can you pull up this? I see that you have it pulled up. The article from Ad Age. I want to see, did they decline to review or did Wendy say you're not coming in for this review? We're all going to learn about this live. Publicis is a longtime incumbent. The agency confirmed to Ad Age that it declined to participate in the pitch. Okay.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a mutual breakup, it feels like.
Yeah, something happened there. I mean, Wendy's itself is kind of struggling right now. They don't have a CEO. They got an interim guy. CEO Kirk Tanner left after 16 months. No replacement yet. 300 locations are set to close in 2026. There's a rumor that it might go private, the company, Jack.
Wow.
As well here. So they got to turn this thing around.
All these fast food burger chains are just one news after the other after the McDonald's CEO thing. It just feels like, I don't know, it's causing everyone to reassess what they're doing.
But VML is still the creative shop, creative AOR. It's unaffected according to Ad Age here. So VML will retain the creative, and that's a WPP agency, Jack. So what do you think there, if you're a client...
Is WPP the favorite? I think if we put betting odds, WPP versus Omnicom, they already have the creative of VML. I'm saying WPP as what, -180 here to win this pitch against Omnicom if they've already got the creative, right?
Absolutely, I think so too, Jack, because it just makes it easier to work
Does that make it for you? Do you, when you've been studying this stuff, do you think that matters? Do you think that they have a better chance? The brands really want that?
Absolutely.
Integrated approach?
For sure, absolutely. You know, keep it all under one roof. Why not?
Okay, very cool.
What do we got next here,
Next
Jack?
one, Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa with the baby, make the baby
Dua
come on.
Lipa is signing with Nespresso. Is signing the right word?
Yeah, I like saying that.
Yeah,
I like treating it like a...
Signs with Nespresso. It's newest face for the campaign for the brand here. George Clooney's been involved with it for 20 freaking years. I'm not sure if he's got some ownership in Nespresso. I think that would make sense here. Yeah. So he's sticking with it here. But the agency shifted here from McCann to Leo Burnett as well. Another shakeup here. This is the next chapter of Nespresso. Jack, how do you like your coffee?
Cold brew, iced coffee. So the Nespresso doesn't really work for me.
It does though, because they know that.
Sorry. Bleep that, please.
They know that, Jack. They know Gen Z. That's who they're trying to touch here. They're got Dua Lipa to talk to Gen Z, and now the next shift is for iced coffee. They worked with The Weeknd in the past too with their pistachio-flavored iced coffee.
Yeah, I mean, I like George Clooney. George Clooney was representing that brand for a while. You say that you now associate George Clooney with Nespresso because of... So, I mean, Dua Lipa is the it girl. We got Ellie. Ellie, you got any words on this one? I feel like you might have some interest here.
Yeah. Dua Lipa's iconic. I feel like obviously she has this status of like global pop star, but I don't know, Quincy and I were talking about this earlier. We almost associate her with just like culture. Like she is just that girl. Like she is on every girl's inspiration board, like her hair, her style, she's you know, in it. She is like a cultural icon. So
will you be more likely to buy Nespresso because of this?
I am more likely to do anything if Dua Lipa's doing it.
There you go. That's exactly what you want to hear if you're Nespresso.
Last night with my roommates that I'm gonna dye my hair like Dua Lipa.
Yeah, so there you go. And they did a little event last night. I saw it. I saw Ellie for the Girls' Instagram story. She was there, an event there to launch Dua Lipa and Nespresso. Next up, Gino.
You like this one, Jack.
Let's just play the video. I feel like you might have seen this on your timelines, but it's a little bit of a throwback to an old ad from the 90s that people like. Ross, if you're ready, feel free to just pop that up on the screen.
Yep.
Here we go. Boom. Ellie, could you just wash this and fill it with water?
I'm gonna explain this. All right, so what do we got? What did we just watch?
So this has been coming up on my timeline at least a lot. People, I think this video got posted 3 weeks ago. Yeah, this video got posted 3 weeks ago, and the comments are hilarious. One person said, "Decades of anti-smoking ads undone in 34 seconds."
It's a 1995 ad there, Jack, and it's a larger trend here of the popularity of cigarettes, which they do kill people, Jack. I want to let people know that 480,000 people die each year from tobacco-related deaths here, but really the pop culture for cigarettes is just rising. We're seeing it in movies. In 2024, more than half of the top box office films featured tobacco imagery, up 10% from 2023. You see it more, Jack. What's your view on all this?
Well, for me, I was focusing more on like the saturation of the colors, the way it's shot, the music. It's so 90s, and that's what I think.
You just like the ad.
You just like Charlie Sheen in the ad. I just really like this ad. I think the craft is where my mind goes. But you're right. Like people love using this as a reason. It like reminds you of old school New York. I don't know.
I was playing into the fact that people are shifting from vapes to cigs. And it's becoming cool, but this ad definitely contributes to that.
Well, next one, Gino. David, the dust has kind of settled here after the lawsuit stuff.
Is the lawsuit over?
No chance. I don't know. But I think in the comms, the PR battle, David has won. So we know that the lawsuit about calories, Peter Rahal, who's one of the founders of David, immediately responds to it on Twitter. And then he goes on Feed Me by Emily Sundberg, her Substack, and does an Ask Me Anything right away. And then the David account puts out a really, really funny, like Mean Girls-esque video poking fun at the claims, 15 million views. So just the order of operations I really think is interesting here. You go from immediate response to refute. You do a public forum with a third-party media company, and then you poke fun at it. Like, you kind of round it all out. I think if they poked fun at it immediately, it wouldn't have done well, but the way that they did it was
absolutely. I love the headline on his tweet here, and I think other people in the company also might have posted this, and it was very simple. At the top, no one is getting Regina Georged. If we all remember from Mean Girls, those bars, she was pranked. I think they just had this succinct messaging here, and the way that they did it in the social video of saying "I heard," and then there's a bunch of rumors. So they were self-deprecating, leaned into it. It was a great response as well.
And the comments are like incredible. They're like, I guess I have no choice but to be on David's
We've
side.
got a David bar actually here.
Yeah,
Can
Ross,
someone toss me a David bar? Is that
Here we
possible?
go. That's a Quincy job. Quincy, could you just toss us a David bar real quick?
I'm going to tell you how many calories in it right now.
Ross is going to try and go do it. So
Let's do it.
boom. How many?
Chocolate chip cookie dough. It says 150 right here, 28 grams of protein. So that's the big argument. That's what the lawsuit about. Is it that final number here? I don't know if it's done yet.
Yeah, but the response was great. I think everyone will be looking at that. If you're like a PR person, look at how David responded to a lawsuit
Hit
like
social.
that.
Is this the target demographic for this bar? Is it just like Gen Z, Gen A? Because it was
feels
very
like it.
social response.
Yeah, super social. I think it was right on the money. Last one. Skittles, gaming flute. Who would have thought, Gino? I saw this, I laughed out loud at the headline. I saw the video. If we want to show the video from TBWA, they work on this account.
One gamer locked in a room. One key to get out. Actually, 16 keys. The Skittles gaming flute. You can't play the game if you can't play the flute. Watch Point Crow play the flute live on Twitch March 19th.
So just one of the more interesting things that come up on my LinkedIn timeline. But there's also a point to this. Point Crow is a massive streamer, millions of YouTube subscribers, and then almost 1 million subscribers on Twitch.
Yeah.
And doing a live stream, the integration into live streams from brands is what I thought was like kind of the layer beneath this.
Yes.
Of like the shock factor of seeing this, and then you look in a little bit more, and it looks like, and it's kind of like something that makes sense. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this guy is known for making challenges. Like, he completes video games like intentionally difficult. Like, I believe he did Zelda. He did a run through of Zelda blindfolded, only using shields. He intentionally makes it super hard, and it just gets everybody's attention here. So making this specific controller difficult matches his target audience here, and it's also going to get a lot of attention between the 2.7 million YouTube subscribers he has and the almost 1 million subscribers on Twitch, like you mentioned, Jack.
Skittles crew is pretty awesome. So this is a DDB Chicago account, pretty much, that got inherited when TBWA came in, Omnicom merger, DDB folded in, and they just do good stuff. The Elijah Wood Super Bowl thing, we talked about it, where he went and performed a Super Bowl ad for one person. Cool, interesting, very Skittles.
Very Skittles.
You talk about old school campaigns, ads, Skittles. This feels very on brand.
Right on the money there.
There
Nicely
you go.
done.
Oh yeah. Come on.
Look at us. Hey, it's the last stream, everybody. Just want to remind you guys, if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube or following us on LinkedIn, go ahead and do that so you don't miss a stream. Subway Surfers still on the board here, Jack. Do we want to keep that on?
Yeah, we're going to keep that on for sure. I don't even know if we can take it off. Yeah. Ross, great work on the graphics there, brother.
Ross is crushing it. We're working hard on this live show here.
And but hey,
for you guys
know
too.
who else is working hard? Our next guest, Gino.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. All right, let's do this. All right, next up, how does an agency go from making ads to launching a Prime Video documentary?
Known. Rock Nation and Prime Video just dropped Meal Ticket, a feature-length doc all about the McDonald's All-American game.
This is the game that launched Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, Candace, Shaq. So it's premiering today in over 240 countries, Jack.
The idea started inside Known Originals, got pitched to McDonald's, and ended up getting sold to Amazon. A dream.
It's a dream. And Ross Martin, president of Known, is on the show here. Welcome.
Oh, welcome. But before that, you reminded us, Ross can see us. Ross, hold 1 second. Let's play the exclusive video that Ross sent over to us from the film.
Oh,
this is archival footage that they found when they were making the documentary. Hadn't been seen before releasing this film. Ross, if you're ready to pull it up and play, go ahead.
We good.
Hi, you probably recognize me, but a few years ago, I was sitting where you are today. Hardly anyone knew who Michael Jordan was. The All-American Game is a chance to compete on national television and to play with the best high school basketball talent in the world. The competition is tough this week, and it gets even tougher. So make the most of it. But just remember, when you get to the NBA, the fun's over, because I'll be waiting for you.
And that was it. That was cool. Michael Jordan, we're Chicago people, and he's in the studio, or he's not in the studio, but he's in the live stream. It's Ross Martin, president of Known. Ross, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, you guys. I'm such a big fan of yours, so I appreciate you having me on. I love your show.
Well, we're a big fan of yours.
I got a real simple question here. How does an ad agency go from making ads to selling a feature-length film here, Ross?
You know, Gino, it's a good question. I think the question that I would ask you back is like, what is an agency?
Gino?
I'll answer that.
Yeah.
An agency is a company that makes ads on behalf of their clients.
Yeah, so I definitely don't agree with you on that. Like yeah, I don't agree. Yeah, and I know you were setting me up for that. It's not our first movie. So as you guys know, we did Genius, the Kanye trilogy for Netflix before Kanye was canceled,
right?
I should say. And then we did another 5-part series with the director of The Last Dance, Jason, for Netflix, and it was about the first all-civilian mission to outer space. It was called Countdown Inspiration 4, and it happened during the pandemic. So I don't know if you guys saw it yet, but 2021, 22. And that was 4 regular people going up on one of Elon Musk's SpaceX rockets, way past where Branson went, and way past where Bezos went for 5 nights. And they were circling, they were outside the atmosphere, and they were raising $250 million for another client of ours, St. Jude. So that was a 5-part series for Netflix. So we've done this before, and Known Originals is a super fun part of what Known does overall. But I think really what we're looking at is, you know, like if you're gonna be crazy or stupid enough to run an agency in 2026, like you should definitely be having a lot more fun. It's a crazy world, you know.
Well, this is fun. I especially growing up, I feel like the McDonald's All-American Game. There's so few events that are called by like the brand that sponsors the event. You know.
Yeah.
Right. You don't call it the high school. You call it the McDonald's All-American Game. Burger Boys. It's something that's been in culture for so long. So the question from me is, you know, what's the documentary all about? Can you explain to us what's the goal, what's the vision for this documentary?
Yeah, so with all things Known Originals, that's our originals programming division. Everything we do there is brand inspired programming. And so when we find a client of ours that has a bigger story to tell, and certainly that's the case with McDonald's, then would fit into the old containers of advertising, as Gino would define an advertising agency today. Gino, I want to hang out with you and talk about this.
We only have 10 minutes here, Ross.
Yeah, well, okay, all right. So it was just so obvious that this was such a bigger thing than you could do in a campaign, and it was also obvious that it was a massively under-leveraged asset within the McDonald's portfolio. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know Ronald McDonald House,
right?
Their big charity. It's partially funded by the money that McDonald's makes from the All-American Game, which is a really cool thing that people don't know about. Also, I don't think people realize that if you step foot on the McDonald's All-American court as a high school senior, you have a 70% chance of having a major career in the NBA or the WNBA. So like if you were to go out in Times Square today and ask everybody, name a basketball player, Like, I don't think you could find someone who would name somebody that wasn't an All-American, starting with Magic Johnson, going all the way to like Kobe, LeBron, Candace Parker, Breonna Stewart, everybody you know started right here. And that's when they were first introduced to the world. McDonald's doesn't get a lot of credit for that. And we find a lot of brands doing things like this, not a lot, some brands doing something that's that powerful in culture, not getting credit for it. That's a bigger story that can earn its place in culture.
So I want to just back things up here, and I'm super impressed by this. And I'm just curious, did McDonald's brief you guys? Did you come to McDonald's with the idea? How does this all come together? Because you got some key players in here. Rock Nation as well. Who else was involved in it, Jack? That we
Creative Control, which is pretty HGK. You know, and Jalen Rose. You know, what we did was we approached Tarek Hassan right after he became the chief marketing officer for McDonald's. And we said, all right, well, you know, we've worked with Tarek before. We know him really well. We said, look, like there's this thing in the basement that you got over at McDonald's, and we want to come take a look because we think there's a bigger story to tell. And the clip you just showed, and many others from the movie, those are deep in the archives in Chicago. And most of it, or a lot of it, no one's even ever seen before. I said to Tarek, like, let us in. Let us go tell this story. Trust us to do it with us. Give us permission. And I got to hand it to him. You know, in this day and age, a lot of CMOs operate from a place of fear. Tarek does not. And he was super excited about it. And he found a way to say yes and then support us all the way through.
That's pretty sweet.
It's incredible.
That's amazing.
Like,
that's what got me. That's why, like, you get fired up when you see things like this, because there's a route. There's a route to not being a typical ad agency that just is doing whatever, just pitching the same old. It's like you got to. I think that part is cool, and Known has been so. I feel like Known has been so impressive lately. Glaze.
There it is. I'm just curious then, like, as from the CMO perspective of Tarek at the time, like, what made him buy into this to say yes? Is it to move more burger sales, the larger brand awareness? Like, what made them say yes?
I think Tarek saw an opportunity to really remind the world how much McDonald's does for the communities that it serves. Massive employee base, obviously billions and billions served. And yet, I think he saw that McDonald's does so much good in its communities. I know I sound like a McDonald's employee by saying this, but it does so much good in its communities, doesn't get credit for it. But I also think, you know, so many CMOs would have said no. So many would have found a way to be like, I tried to make it happen, I can't do it. Or they would be afraid of what would happen. Tarek's just not that guy. And that's one of the things that makes him such a unique and I think special character. And so I don't know, like he found a way to say yes. And you know, because you have so many people on your show that have done extraordinary things because somebody said yes. And he's just one of those guys. And I think also, like, the more you do this kind of work, the more people know they can trust you. And I think that's everything here too. Like, he had to trust us, and he had to trust the filmmakers in making this.
Absolutely. Well, knowing that, I would not allow us to not talk about what might be one of the great billboards of, dare I say, since the last what, decade?
Since we started watching.
Since we started paying attention as closely as we have. The Steph Curry billboard was done by Known. I mean, it's one of our best performing pieces of content.
So thank you, Ross, for giving us good content here.
But the Steph Curry, to remind everyone, they made the moon act as part of the billboard. The moon is the basketball. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, Ross, about how much we enjoyed this ad. And I'm excited. I want to hear a little bit more about how that came together, for as much as you can share.
Yeah, I so appreciate you guys. You have a high bar. So if you like something, then we get excited over here, because it's like making Sports Center. Like, when you guys put that on, I was like, seriously, we were psyched when Justin Bieber posted it. We didn't know he was going to do that. And then all of a sudden 300 million people saw it.
Crazy.
But when Breaking and Entering featured that billboard, the moonshot, the Steph Curry moonshot, it's like you play in like a basketball game, and you hit what you think is like a good shot, but you don't know if it's going to end up on Sports Center.
Right.
And so when you guys put it on, we were like, fuck yes. Oh my God, yes. And I'm not blowing sunshine. I swear to God, everybody here was psyched. You know, there's only 300 people that work here. We're outnumbered by our competitors 400 to 1.
Yeah.
In every room, right? And we're going up against the best of the best. So when we can sneak something through like that, totally grateful.
I love it.
Yeah, it happened because, you know, we're one of the agencies on the roster for Penguin Random House. This was our first assignment for Penguin Random House. And they wanted to find a way to make people aware of and give a shit about a basketball player's book. And it's like, if you don't like Steph Curry or you hate the Golden State Warriors or you don't care about basketball, like, is this book for you? And we were trying to make the point that Steph makes, which is like, yeah, like it's actually a life lesson here that you got to be ready to take your shot no matter how big it is. And Steph takes big shots. So convincing him that we could do this was also a matter of trust. That's a guy who had to say yes, just like Tarek did. We took our shot and he bought in and he was amazing and supportive of it. And so was Random House. The problem wasn't like coming up with a big idea. And I think like a lot of times that's like, you know, half the challenge. The other half here was like, how the fuck are you going to make that
execute on it?
You know, and the first time we did it, we bought the wrong billboard. The first, nobody knows that. And then we were like, oh shit. Cause we realized there was this, you know what, you guys, you'll think this is funny. So we went on, somebody in our creative team went on Slack and was like, does anybody know anything about like the trajectory of the moon in the night sky? And it was like, within about a half hour, there's a guy in the New York office who was like, well, I'm a PhD in astrophysics. And I was like, I don't even understand where the fucking moon goes. Like when I first saw the idea, I thought we could do 2 billboards, right? So like there would be the one where Steph is shooting it. And then I was like, well, then we'll have this other billboard where like it goes in.
Yeah. Right. It's the sun.
Of course.
That's the sun.
Why didn't you guys do that? That makes sense.
Yeah. East, so rise in the east, sets in the west. Of course.
That's when everybody that works at Known realized that I'm a fucking idiot because they're like, it doesn't work like that. Like that's not how the moon works. And I'm like, all right, well, like, is there like, does it go to China? Like, should we buy a billboard in China? Anyway, so that didn't work out. But like the fact that our PhD data scientist here in New York, who's never been to California, just took 45 minutes, did some calculations, and was like, this is the billboard we need. Also, Steph's facing the wrong way. You got to switch it around. And you have 3 nights to get the shot. And it's like, if you miss it, you're going to miss it and you're not going to get it for another month. And so we were like, holy shit. So the metaphor extended to us where Steph's book is called Shot Ready. We had to be shot ready. And then everybody that we invited, the entire Adobe community, all the influencers had to show up at the exact right time in the exact right place at the right angle and get that shot. Yep. And it worked, thank God. And sometimes you put it all on the line like that. And when it works, it's very special.
It's such a great story. That is honestly, I'm so glad that there actually was an astrophysicist. Because you always are like, you see those kind of press releases and you're kind of like, okay, they said they use an astrophysicist, but what does that really mean? Like, that could mean that you just like sent a message to Bill Nye the Science Guy, you know, like, but it's amazing to hear. I'm glad that we now know that there is a PhD in the Known New York office. That is what a skill to have. I bet he never thought that this would be the case.
He had only started 3 weeks before.
Wow.
So no one even really knew him.
That guy, he might get a canned line. He might get a line.
He might get a line.
He might get a line.
I would hope he would get a line for sure.
Oh, we'll start campaigning.
Yeah,
but no, it's so good, Ross.
Nicely done.
Amazing stuff. I'm glad we talked about the billboard. I'm more glad that we talked about Meal Ticket, out today.
Yes.
Today on Prime Video. Thursday night is the best night to watch a movie, Gino. So check it out. You're gonna see all the players that will end up being in March Madness next year. So this is a good opportunity. But congrats, Ross. Thank you for joining the show. Congrats to the whole team at Known on all the great work.
Appreciate you guys. Keep it up. Talk to you soon.
See ya. Fun.
That was Ross from Known, changing the way ad agencies are operating.
I love you guys got into it a little bit there in the beginning.
Love that. Make sure we clip that one. Other Ross.
Gino gets in the screaming match with the ad executive.
Got to give it to him a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, let's intro our next guest here, Jack. We got a new agency alert. New agency alert.
New agency alert.
It's entering the Thunderdome today in the ad industry, Jack.
Very excited about this. Main character, founded by Stacey, Gersten, and Courtney Worthman, focused on getting celebrity deals actually done. We were talking about a few this morning.
Yes, Jack. Listen, over 20 Super Bowl campaigns, more than 20 years in this space. This is an agency that is a senior-led model. No jokes, no messing around for them.
This is it's a first live press interview in ad media.
That's right.
Not many live ad media shows, but they're coming in to tell us about what's going on.
Stacey and Courtney, co-founders of Main Character. That's the new agency. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
What a pleasure.
Welcome.
What a pleasure. Excited to chat. The name of the agency is Main Character. Kind of explains itself. It's a great name. I like it a lot. But let's talk about why. Why start an agency? Why start this agency?
Well, first of all, we must be just sick people. We love this work. We love working with talent. We love working with brands and agencies. It gives us a rush and a thrill, and we've been doing it for 20 years. Main Character is a solve for agencies and brands and the increasing demands on them to be a culture, be the moment in culture. Don't just advertise in culture, like make it a moment. So we've had the pleasure, the honor of sitting on so many great IATs with the smartest marketers, the best creatives, the coolest CMOs, and the brief is pretty much all the same across the board, like get in culture and make it fast. So we sit as an executional partner in an IAT to help shoot down ideas that involve celebrity, music, entertainment that aren't going to work. We're in the marketplace every day talking to these agents and managers. So one thing our clients consistently compliment us on, besides being charming and cute and fun, is we're able to stop the swirl. We can sit in a meeting and they'll say, what about Ryan Reynolds for something or other? We can send a text, find out if it's doable or not, and either put that piece of creative to bed or go in a different direction. And the name of the game is being fast. So it's a really big help to all of them.
Interesting. I'm curious then, you two are experts on this. I'm curious, where do most celebrity deals fall apart? Is it the brand, the agency side, the talent side? Where do you see in your experience it falls apart?
I think it's in the execution, right, Stace? The idea could be great. There's so many wonderful ideas, but like when you put pen to paper, is this famous actress really gonna chow down on something on camera? Is, this shoot date that we have to make gonna work for a guy that's filming overseas? It's all in the execution, and luckily, those pieces of information are easy for us to find out.
Yeah, so we will always figure out, based on really deep and strong relationships that we have with talent managers and agents, about what motivates the talent, so that when we go and bring an offer, it's something they're gonna say yes to. And it's really all about getting inside their head to get that yes, especially when we need to move quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can imagine over the time that you've worked in this world, it's so interesting to me that like the business kind of revolves around working with like the biggest figures in the world too. Over the years, there has to be some learnings, right? It's some things that you figure out. Do you have to speak the language of celebrity? Is it a different, are they speaking in tongues?
I mean, I would say just like the advertising business, there's always a lot of egos involved. And so it's so much about like kind of cutting through that and understanding like what people want, what's going to get them to tick and get like people excited. Because I would say the biggest problem when a deal doesn't go through is because something wasn't exciting. It wasn't something that like got that celebrity excited and like made them want to do something. Like they don't want to just, pitch a pen. They want to do it in a cool way so that it doesn't feel like an ad.
Mm-hmm. And then how do you, what about because we talked with the team from Mother and Uber the other day. They had Maura Higgins sitting in a bathtub for 4 hours. Mm-hmm. So things like that, is the celebrity getting briefed ahead of time? Hey, there's a chance you're gonna have to sit in the bathtub for 4 hours. Or for Men's Warehouse, he had to eat 90 hot dogs. Is that something that gets briefed ahead of time?
Definitely. If you know what you're doing and you're doing it right, you have everything written out and agreed upon beforehand. Because we work hand in hand with business affairs, which is keeping everything above the law, and also producers. We got 8 hours on set. We need this, that done. So we kind of, we live on the East Coast and we're not friends with the celebrities, we're friends with the brands. CMOs are our celebrities, if I could be so bold to say. So we really make sure that it's pretty foolproof when it gets to the day of.
Speaking of CMOs, I'm curious, like, what's something about working with celebrities that would maybe shock most CMOs that you guys know about?
So it's funny, I was having a chat with one of our CMO clients just the other day, kind of talking about like what their goals are for 2026. And what was said to me was how brands use celebrity to cut through the clutter that's in media these days. But then there's also so much clutter even with the celebrity attached to brands. And so it's so much about figuring out the relationship and the talent fit that's not like merely transactional. It's something that feels real and authentic, because at the end of the day, that CMO is going to go and tout this partnership. And there's so many opportunities for people just to poke holes and cancel culture and all of the things. So it's about finding that authentic fit of like, why that celebrity, why this brand, why this campaign, so that the CMO can then go and be so proud of the work that everybody spent so much time and energy and effort putting together.
When brands always get a ton of glaze whenever they jump on a cultural trend super quick, or they partner with a celebrity right after the celebrity does something amazing. How do those deals get done so quickly, especially when I imagine there's that, depending on the celebrity, they can be, massive contracts?
Being in constant conversation with everybody in the commercial world in Hollywood is how we get things done. We know at any given time, who, for instance, all the traders people, what they were about to be up to, when their availability is. We didn't get Mara, but Uber did, but she's in the UK. You got to shoot over there. So, knowing what's already going. So when you get a brief dropped in, we kind of already have an idea of who would be available, what's the price, and, can put it together from there.
Yeah, I mean, because that's always, it's like for as fast as you can be, there's also the risk of being so slow that you miss the moment and then you get anti-glazed.
And that's like, honestly, I think, and most of our colleagues that probably are listening to this would agree, the orders are so tall now. Like, you don't have a choice. I've been doing this for 20 years. We used to have weeks and months, and, magazines came out every month at some point. So, it's kind of a necessary evil. You got to be fast, but you also can't make a mistake.
Right.
Let's talk about probably the most celebrity-driven moment in advertising. That is the Super Bowl. It seems like nowadays you have to have a celebrity to cut through with Super Bowl ads.
Yeah, of course.
That's a whole other conversation. But I guess, what do you two know about celebrities entering Super Bowl ads? Are they more welcome to doing them?
It's the celebrity Super Bowl.
What's the current state of affairs on celebrities in the Super Bowl?
They want to be in the ads. We get calls starting in July for the next year's Super Bowl. And it really is kind of like a feather in their cap to be selected for the Super Bowl. So it's really fun because it's a time of the year where you can get A-list talent to pay attention to what we're doing.
Well, I'd like to, I guess I would say, I'm sure this isn't the case because it's a celebrity, like, you want to do the things that align with you. But I would wonder, is it because in the Super Bowl, like, the budget is much bigger? Obviously.
What is the budget?
The budget
what is the average
$1 billion.
Well, we can ask them that. They're experts.
Yeah.
Like, what is the average budget for a celebrity in the Super Bowl? Let's say A-list celebrity.
Well, listen, what we always say is there's always a celebrity for the budget. So, like, there's always somebody that we can find that will do the project and make the campaign great. The bigger the budget, the bigger the celebrity. It's really just kind of finding that that marriage and the right fit. But also, as Courtney had said about it being like a feather in the celebrity's cap, like, the stakes are so high and it's so fun. And the brands and the agencies work so hard to make like badass creative that really like stands out, that talent that normally like wouldn't do a commercial campaign get excited about it because like they know all the eyeballs are on it and it's going to be fun.
I'll give you a real answer to that, though.
Thank you.
You need, I love it though. It's over 7 figures. If we're serious about doing it and you really want talent who's going to move the needle, unless you're interested in using someone on TikTok who just made a big moment and they're brand new and they're not seasoned, you got to be, we're talking over $1 million at least. 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 isn't unheard of.
I love that.
Yeah, and people still say the Super Bowl budget is still at a discount for what you get with a commercial. Would you both agree with that? Do you think that that is accurate? Everyone says that. I want to hear from you both though.
Well, I'd say the thing I love most about Super Bowl is like the rollout. And I love, like, I know there's so much controversy on this, but like, I love the teasers and then like the first part of the campaign and then the big reveal being part of Super Bowl. And then you go online and there's the long form video. And so I feel like these brands, like, if they plan it out properly, they get so much more bang for their buck with their talent of the amount of creative they're able to make. And so many eyeballs are on it. I mean, the fact that it's a debate among like the regular people in the world about what their favorite Super Bowl campaign is like, it's awesome.
It's the best. So,
And there's just a few big moments like that left where we're all tuning in, right? Because the media is so fragmented. Everyone's got a different platform for everything. But like the Super Bowl, the Oscars, those are the moments that brands really have an opportunity to communicate with everyone.
I have one final question. The like talent now kind of encompassing influencers as well versus your typical Hollywood celebrities. Do those fall into the same bucket? Are CMOs, are brands thinking about that budget the same way of like influencer marketing? Because these influencers are kind of their own media companies now, where that is merging now with like booking celebrity talent. How are you sorting through that shift in culture?
So I'd say there's only a handful of influencers who really like crossed over into mainstream. And for those folks, I mean, you're really getting bang for your buck because you are getting a full media company when you work with someone like that. And then listen, there are influencer marketing companies that are working on like bottom of the funnel type creative that is, I mean, that's not what we're focused on. And we're so thankful that those other agencies exist and they're doing it. And a lot of times that type of work supports the bigger, more like high profile work that we're working on. But yeah, I mean, what's so great about influencers is you're hiring somebody who has their own audience that knows what their audience wants and can only add to the larger creative message.
It's difficult though for influencers to get cast in TVCs or on streaming. That's something that we consistently run into with our agencies and brands, like the facial recognizability. I think Jake Shane's the most famous person in the world, but maybe someone who's watching FBI or NCIS has no idea who they are.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. I think you can kind of tell the influencers that have crossed over into fully mainstream. And you're right, there is really only a handful of them. So that's interesting to know. I think that's an exciting and interesting distinction because there's so much happening at that lower funnel with the creative. So very cool, very cool.
Well, Stacey and Courtney, thank you so much for joining. How can people reach out to you both?
Yeah, let's go. Come on. How can people reach out?
We're live today, breaking and entering breaking news. We are accessible on LinkedIn. Anywhere you can find the internet, you can find us.
Incredible. Well, thank you for coming on. Best of luck to you all. We can't wait to see all the amazing work.
Thank you so much.
That was main character Stacey and Courtney. Give them a look. They're on the internet. They're out there. So, but
good question with the influencer crossover.
You think so?
Yeah. What they say? Like not so much.
They work out with because you think about
the budgets are still siloed.
Yes.
Yes. Which between celebrities and influencers.
Unless it's like Jake Shane, a Jake Shane or I mean at this point I almost don't even want to call her a celebrity because she's just now like a mogul, but like Alex Cooper.
Oh, for sure.
Like that's she does all of her own stuff. But someone like that who's like they've got their own podcast, they've got their own product, they've got millions of followers.
You're buying into a media company and all the placements within that media company, just like Break Entering Media, which you can actually work with us. We're now accepting sponsors for this show.
That's right.
That's right, Jack.
That was a good transition.
Good to go here? No. We got
a couple minutes here before Luke McKelvey, who is one half of the McKelvey brothers, joins the show. He is the co-founder. He's the CEO of MIRIMAR.
Yeah. I wrote this morning, move over, Cohen brothers. The McKelvey ad brothers are here.
The McKelvey ad brothers.
They're here.
We're gonna have to ask Luke about his thoughts on that comp.
But you can pick up here from the teleprompter.
Oh, here we go.
Jack.
Teleprompter. Got it. Thanks. Nike and Beats dropped the Power of Beats Pro 2 and tap MIRIMAR to make the spot.
Listen, they got LeBron out there golfing, and if you're golfing, you're gonna get heckled from every direction on like your swing advice, especially because it's Bron.
Yeah.
It's chaos. So he puts those headphones in, and it silences
Simple
the noise.
idea with a big-time name with Bron. Love Bron. Don't like him because of his battles with the Chicago Bulls in the 2010s. But what do we got now?
We got Luke McKelvey, co-founder and CEO of MIRIMAR. Luke, welcome to the show.
It's good to see you, Luke. How is sunny LA?
Pretty good, pretty warm to be honest. It was 85 yesterday, and it's looking like it's going to be another warm one. So it's 8:45 here. The sun's up, and it's California. It's perfect.
It's California. California dreaming.
Thank you for starting your morning with us here. So we saw the spot come out a day ago, 2 days ago?
Yeah, a day or so ago.
And people are loving it online here. And I was really surprised in my nerd advertising group chat to see a Nike ad with the name MIRIMAR that helped create it. That was the most surprising thing to me when I woke up and saw that news. So I guess my question to you is, how does it feel to be an agency that works on two great brands in this scenario, with Beats coming together with Nike?
I mean, yeah, we're incredibly grateful to get to work with such iconic brands like that, and obviously with talent like LeBron as well. For sure, this is definitely through our collaboration and partnership with Beats. I would, not sure we're about to knock Wyden and Kennedy off the Nike partnership, but this is for sure through the partnership with Beats. But what an opportunity, right? Two iconic brands, an athlete like that coming together to launch their first hardware collab. It's it was great. It was really great, and it sort of, it does shape the way you think, though, the way the team thinks and puts things together. You know, when you have those iconic brands that people know and love, and you have an ambassador like LeBron who's been with both of those companies for so long, you start to wanting to do really epic things, and you think the work's got to sort of be quite earnest to match that moment. But I think we've all seen LeBron that way before, right? Like in games, in commercials from Beats, from Nike, we've seen such top of performance from him that it just, I don't know, it's hard to beat that. And so what we haven't seen before, and what we sort of started to gravitate towards, is putting him in a much more relatable situation. Just an average golfer that's, you know, not yet good, that is struggling to get better. And that immediately just felt more interesting, more unexpected, and something I think we thought people and audiences would just love from the jump.
It just, to me, I know obviously LeBron does a ton of partnerships and sponsorships. Of course, he's for good reason, but I don't think he does that many commercials. I feel like, I don't know, am I right on that, Luke? Because I was trying to think when the last time he did a commercial was, besides like launching the LeBron Hennessy.
Well, Beats, you know, he's obviously a long-time collaborator with Beats, and they have an incredible relationship with him, and he does a lot with Beats. So we did a piece with him last year.
Okay.
With Lil Wayne, you know, around the launch of the new Beats pill. So they do a bit with him, but for sure, I think he's more discerning about who he works with, and how he works, and how much time you get with him, and everything else. He's a pretty busy guy. Between golf and being one of the world's best athletes, he's pretty busy.
I can imagine.
I mean, but I think this one definitely sticks out, because you could have easily done an ad where it's LeBron in a basketball court, the lights are down, he's working hard, he's sweating, whatever it might be. He's got the headphones on, he's practicing against a younger version of himself, let's say.
Yeah, there you go.
The fact that you kind of took it this route is great.
You've seen the deck. You've seen the first round of ideas. No, it's exactly it. It's you immediate. That's immediately where your head goes, and you want to kind of make work to that stature to meet the moment of those brands coming together. But as soon as, like, Chris Thorne, actually, to his credit, so Chris Thorne, you know, the Beat CMO, amazing partner for us, great golfer. He actually plays golf at the same course that LeBron's a member of in LA, and so it was him that sort of brought the insight to us. You know, golf's obviously having a moment culturally, it's super popular. And then him saying he sees LeBron out there just practicing nonstop. He's always there in his time. He's, you know, walking through the car park, he's chipping balls, he's hitting it. And then you start to look into it and you see him on social media swinging. You see him literally during the Lakers warm up. He's kind of got that thing where he's practicing his shots, you know, and you can just tell he's got that bug that anyone that's ever tried to get good at golf kind of gets. And so that was so unexpected to see him in that environment. And, you know, credit to him, right? Like, for a guy like that at the top of his game to be willing to put himself humbled by golf in that setting. And credit to the Beats team as well, you know, the Tom and Chris and Cam over there. They know LeBron so well that they said, if we get the tone right and the script right, we will get him to do this. He's that self-aware. He can be that funny, and he's just, of course, when he shows up, right? He's LeBron, so he's got such a confidence and such a coolness and a swagger to him that even if he isn't yet great at it, he brings a confidence to everything he's done that just makes it so enjoyable to watch. And to your point, Gino, you've got the headphones, right, that play, rightfully so, a key role in this. Of someone like LeBron starts playing golf, the whole world has comments on it. Do this, do that, in terms of his swing and what he should and shouldn't be doing. And
it's funny. I want to interject because his whole life he's gotten hecklers and pressure on him around his basketball career since he was in high school. He was the chosen one. You could have went easily with that route of like all the pressure from basketball about retiring and going into like the next phase of his career. But just so funny that you went with the golf route. And I think I love that here. So I want to spin this into a question in some way, shape, or form. The question really is, how do you brief the team now that you got Beats, iconic brand, you got Nike, legendary brand as well, and you're working with LeBron? This is a new brand in your ecosystem. How do you brief the team to tackle this?
We work very closely with Beats. So we kind of like, we co-create everything together. We're like quite a unique, they have creatives on their side. They have, you know, incredible brand people on their side. So it is very kind of tight-knit and collab. So it's much less, we get a brief, we go away and brief the teams. We're figuring it out together, and we're always looking for, I think we found a good rhythm with Beats. We're always looking for what's a true product story we can tell. You know, how does that drive the narrative? Something unique about the product that drives the narrative, and then what's a culturally relevant, interesting story we can tell using their iconic kind of athlete and music partnership. So it's really playing in that sandbox. What's the environment that we can kind of pull that thread through? And as I said, when Chris kind of gave us that insight of how passionate LeBron was, and then you start to think, man, you watch all those clips, to your point, Gino, you watch all those clips where everyone's always got an opinion on LeBron, even when he's at the top of his game in basketball. Imagine when he's average at golf, how many opinions there are. Yeah. So those two things really came together, and then the team, you know, we've got a great creative team that just ran with it and really put together funny scripts of just, and the best fun with it all was, who are going to be those people that are chirping? Who are going to be the people that are sort of chipping in from the sidelines with an opinion? You know, from Tom Kim, from professional golfers all the way through to the greenskeeper and everyone else. And so that was the really fun part, getting to figure out who was going to be trying to pierce his bubble when he's just out there doing his thing, shanking and slicing.
I mean, I'm more curious about who's the person that's going to go tell LeBron that we need you to go play bad at golf on. We're going to need you to miss this putt about 5 feet to the right, LeBron. So feel free. I mean, I can imagine if I was the person that had to tell him that, I'd be so scared. I would be like, hey, Mr. LeBron, I'm so sorry that I have to do this right now. But was that weird though? Like truly being on set with LeBron and asking him for this to play this role.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you got to handle those things the right way. But we have the Beats team really close with him.
That helps.
Him. They're able to set that up, and we worked with the director, Wayne McKelvey, who's cinematically beautiful, but also has worked with LeBron a lot. So I think you can feel how comfortable LeBron was on set to be that way, because he had that environment where people knew him and he felt confident to be relaxed. And he was hitting balls on the kind of driving range in between takes and things. So
he's getting his reps in. He's getting his reps in. He's on the course.
And it was at the course that he's a member at. Is that where you shot it as well, or was it a different?
No, we didn't. That was the plan, but we didn't. We saved them from 10 film trucks rolling up. We shot it at Los Angeles National, which is a great course and has a great driving range. And Tom Kim was able to give him some actual tips when they were there in between takes and everything.
Nice.
So it worked
Perfect. It's perfect. That's what you dream of. And listen, hey, Miramar, outside of it, this isn't the only work that Miramar is doing. It's been great to see the way the agency 2 years in a row now on Ad Age's standout agency list and Super Bowl commercials. How's the agency? What are the vibes like inside the walls of an agency that, per LinkedIn, has less than 50 employees?
It's good, Jack. It's good. Vibes are good. Where we, as you guys know, we moved into a new space kind of end of last year, and that helps improve the vibes when the space is a bit nicer to be in. So culturally, things are good. We like to promise our team that come to Miramar to do the best work of their careers, and so our job is to support them in doing that, create the environment, get the opportunities and the partnerships with brands to do it. And I think we're delivering on that. We've got incredible partners at the moment with Beats and the Rockets and Pricelines of the world. So we feel good. We're ambitious. We're still we are growing, but to your point, we're around 50 people. So we're being quite intentional about how we grow to make sure that culture stays the same, and also the brands we work with want to do the work that we think is the most effective for them. And I think being discerning about the partnerships, so that when we do have new brand partnerships, we can go all in and we really can deliver like the type of work you guys are seeing with Beats, which requires a lot of energy and effort and collaboration. So finding the right partners, and then when we get them going all in with a small senior team is the process. And yeah, it's going well so far.
Love that.
Luke McKelvey, thank you for joining the Break Entering show here. Tell your brother we said hello. Tell LeBron we said hello, and he's welcome on the show whenever he would like.
Really quick, before Gino introduced you as one half of the Coen brothers of advertising, I just want to get your reaction to that, Luke, of you and John being the Coen brothers.
I mean, what icons? I'll definitely take that. They're way more interesting and talented than we are. That's great.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Oh, there you go. Gino's got a trademark, so I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Luke. Congrats again to the whole team over at Miramar on the great work, and we'll keep it rolling here.
Nicely done, Jack.
Wow, very exciting, Gino. How's it going? How's everything?
I love talking ads.
Love this shit.
Love talking ads.
So that was.
Did you see my point though about like you could have had LeBron, like just training.
Yes.
Like in his backyard.
It's what every single, it happens all the time, especially for something like Beats, where you're like, yeah, he listens to Beats when he plays basketball and he trains.
Yeah.
Duh. But
they took it to golf. I thought that was great.
And it doesn't happen if LeBron isn't on board for it. I could totally see most other famous athletes saying, no chance, I'm going to do something like this. But I feel like Bron's arc.
And remember, it reminds me of the COVID days when he was with his kids hanging out like Taco Tuesday, the sillier side of him, like on his head.
Yeah, I mean, and I had seen, I think it's kind of incredible, the story that like the way that they got this insight was through the Beats. The Beats.
That's an easy way to sell an idea right there. It's like, we'll make it really great. Here's a script and boom.
Beats, through the Beats. And then, because it was kind of a thing this past offseason, people were talking about LeBron, like, oh, he's going to retire, because there's clips of him going golfing. Of course. They're like, oh, he's done. But so that was good. But what's coming up next,
All right,
Gino?
let's talk about what's going on with Publicis and the trade desk, Jack.
There's a lot of noise here, so we brought in someone who's been covering it closely, knows about this stuff, great expert, has written about this topic.
She can break it down, what's actually happening across both sides here.
So, Kendra Barnett, senior tech reporter at ADWEEK. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Jackie. It's good to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you as well. A lot has been, the drama, the beef of it all here with the trade desk in the headlines. Publicis comes out and says we will not be recommending the trade desk to our clients. When you get that news, Kendra, what does that signal to you immediately, and what were your initial reactions kind of putting this story together?
Sure. Well, Publicis sent this memo to a select number of its clients. We don't know how many. It recommended stopping using the trade desk after a third-party audit after the trade desk failed a third-party audit that was conducted that was primarily designed to assess its fee structures and the media costs associated. So, I mean, contextualizing this is like another blow for the trade desk. This is not completely shocking, considering that just 4 weeks ago, our team broke the news that both Dentsu and WPP exited part of the trade desk. That part is called Open Path, which is its preferred supply path for direct publisher deals. But it's clear to us, this signals that we're getting that the buy side in particular has a lot of beef with the trade desk right now. And this is not new, since the debut of Kokai, the UX, the trade desk AI driven UX, there's been a lot of negative feedback from buyers that we hear frequently. And then Open Path, is again what the trade desk positions as the cleanest supply path. But on the sell side, the publishers don't really like that because it cuts out a handful of intermediaries, including SSPs. So basically, the trade desk is getting a lot of negative feedback from both the sell side and the buy side right now, and this is just sort of piling on to that.
Gino, go ahead.
Thank you for calling on me. So what is the trade desk saying in response to all this?
So in response to Publicis's memo specifically, the trade desk has denied those allegations outright. They told us in a statement that they have never failed an audit, and they said that the auditor was requesting data that they were not able to provide for privacy purposes, data that would have, if shared, would have violated their contracts with partners and advertisers. But this case in particular is really impactful. I mean, a few years ago, in a SEC filing, the trade desk said that business from, on the holding company level, business from Publicis Group would have represented more than 10% of their total gross billings. And that was, I think, for the fiscal year 2023. The trade desk no longer breaks out those figures. So, that obviously could have changed, but it's a substantial hit, we can imagine, to the business regardless.
Yes. So I guess maybe for someone who knows about advertising but isn't deep in it, maybe might need a little bit of a beginner 101. What exactly does the trade desk do, and then how do they engage with a holding company like Publicis?
Sure. So the trade desk is a demand side platform, which basically means it's designed to service the buy side of the advertising industry. That means if you're Coca-Cola and you have $10 billion to spend on advertising across the open web or connected television, you might work with an agency, which is often owned by a holding company like a Publicis, a WPP, a Dentsu, to distribute that budget according to your needs. That agency represents you on the DSP, and the DSP is designed to be a platform to connect with publishers, again, across any number of digital spaces that sells advertising. And again, it's sort of a complex landscape because the trade desk offers, or any DSP offers often offers a number of different paths through which to connect to publishers.
Mm-hmm.
Those deals can be kind of prearranged. They can be open web programmatic, happening in real time, or direct deals with specific publishers. If Coca-Cola knows they want to spend 1 billion of that 10 billion on only top news publishers like the New York Times or whatever. And then the DSP, the trade desk, or whoever, Amazon, Yahoo, whoever, will work with not just the publishers, but often a set of other intermediaries that are ad exchanges or that are platforms that sit closer to the sell side to do the transaction. Basically, that was a very long-winded answer.
No, this is great. This is really good. This is fantastic.
So I'm curious then, you mentioned, I believe it was WPP and Dentsu that has also stepped back some of the usage of the trade desk. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And they cited similar concerns that the Publicis memo did, which are about kind of hidden or undisclosed fees and a lack of transparency regarding ad placement.
Okay, that's great context. And are there other DSPs out there that are experiencing similar issues as the trade desk, or is this isolated right now to the trade desk?
I mean, I think that, news cycles are cyclical, and the trade desk is having a tough run of it for a number of reasons, some of which I've already mentioned. We've seen a lot of negative feedback about some of their tools specifically and their practices specifically from buyers and from sellers in the last year. So I would say that right now the trade desk has gotten a lot of heat, and some of that is because of the ideological position that the trade desk has carved out for itself. It launched over a decade ago with this sort of ethos of like, we're the anti-walled garden. Meta and Google control such a large portion of all the ad dollars and transactions on the open web. And the trade desk has said, we're anti-black box, we are pro-transparency, we are always going to support buyers in getting the best deal possible. And we've just seen enough negative feedback recently, especially from, we haven't really talked about all the negative feedback on the sell side with publishers, but they've made these changes that suggest that, they launched open ads, which is sort of a product that is more of a sell side product. And so, and the trade desk is really, again, designed to be a buy side tool. And so it sort of looks like they've made these changes that would have them encroaching into the sell side increasingly. And that's gained some criticism because it sort of makes them look like, they're doing the same behaviors that they've criticized the walled gardens Google for doing, which is representing both the buy and the sell side of the transaction. So they're just getting a lot more heat now than I would say the other DSPs are.
Okay.
So is it fair? Like, I feel like with what the moves that the trade desk has made, there's just like, and you touched upon it, this very complex chain that happens. Like, between the dollars spent from a big brand and then it being put in, like, placed as an ad online, there's so much of that money that's getting taken and values being taken. Is it fair to say that there's almost like a constant battle to get as much value out of that chain as possible? So if you are the trade desk, you're trying to get into other avenues to control more of the process. If you're a holding company, maybe they also have a similar idea. Like, how can we just make it so that there's less between us and then the end goal? Is this an accurate thing to say? Is it a trend that's happening? What's your take on, like, where the value chain is happening?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's a really complicated ecosystem, and it's up to the buyer ultimately at the end of the day to know the paths that they're transacting on. Because sometimes if they're not informed, or if they're working with a less direct path, they might be going through, to your point, upwards of 10 intermediaries, platforms, SSPs, ad exchanges in the middle of the publisher, between the buyer and the seller on the ends. And each one of those takes a cut. So it's not a very cost-effective way to do media. But, and even to your point, also, the holding companies have their own interests here as well. So some of the dialogue that we've seen online in response to this Publicis trade desk story in the last few days is like the other side of the coin is that, well, it's kind of, ironic that Publicis would be throwing these stones because most of the holding companies, especially Omnicom and Publicis, have been known to practice what's known as principal buying or arbitrage, which are not the same things, to be clear, but that see them, buy media in bulk and then charge their clients a markup on that, and in the case of arbitrage, pocket that difference. So of course, lots of interest here, and some have suggested that Publicis asking their clients or telling their clients that they don't recommend transacting on the trade desk any longer is just a symptom of that desire to, wrestle back some of that margin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that obviously I guess there's a potential route there, but it would be like, in that scenario, it would be like if you want to break up with someone and you're just kind of like looking for, like, you left the dishes out, so this is why we're breaking up. Maybe there's something deeper to it. I guess that would drive that point home.
Kendra, is that correct?
Yeah, it's possible. And I mean, a spokesperson for the trade desk told us that they have tried resolving this issue with Publicis before it became public. And I think they're still working on that. And, it's just turned into a very messy battle. But yeah, I think that's accurate.
Very, yeah. But it is messy. Was there something you were going to say, Gino?
I was just going to ask, like, to kind of like close it out, unless you want to talk.
No, go for it.
I was just going to ask, so like learnings from this, does this showcase like where the media industry might be heading to next?
That's a big question. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think that, we see increasing demand from buyers and sellers for transparency in this ecosystem, but as we've been discussing, it's inherently very convoluted, and there are a lot of folks who want to make money here. So, I mean, I think that there are demands for transparency. The problem is that the ecosystem is sort of, the infrastructure is built to reward opacity on both sides of the aisle. So I don't know if I can say that this is symptomatic of a bigger change. The DSPs are battling it out aggressively right now. That's a story we've been, following for more than a year here. So only time will tell where the dollars go.
Very interesting. Kendra, I appreciate you kind of helping us sift through all of it, and really, really great reporting. I think that you can go check out Kendra's article if you want to learn more about this situation, and I'm sure there will be more to come, so we'll keep an eye out. But appreciate your time, Kendra, and thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you both so much. See ya.
Thank you. That was Kendra Barnett, senior tech reporter at ADWEEK, breaking down the trade desk story, Publicis, an area of, that really, to her point, very, very complex, kind of hard to sift through, but I thought that was nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
I almost did that more for me to understand more. I really wasn't.
That's all it's about.
Yeah, just learning.
Just learning.
Trying to learn.
It's learning and entertainment.
Edutainment.
How are we doing on Subway Surfers, Ross?
Yeah, we win yet?
Score.
Did we win yet? Ross, you can talk.
We're getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there.
Great. Ross,
what was so funny back there when you two were laughing?
Go ahead, Ellie.
We got a comment in the chat that said, "We're just scrolling past Dakota Johnson, huh?" Because there was a Dakota Johnson Calvin Klein spot in the ad.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
To my own credit, quite geniusly responded, "Ross gets nervous around beautiful women."
Oh, nice. Entertaining comments here.
Right. I love that. That's a really funny point.
Speaking of that,
it's great. That is great. How did the stream go? Because was it a perfect stream?
I don't want to be overly confident, but I feel like it's a perfect stream.
we got one.
I can't wait. I think I will say when McKelvey joined, the audio was a little low when it started.
Yeah, I gave him the thumbs up. Turn it up.
But you can hear that, right? Like you knew that it was.
He knew.
I'll pass the blame on.
No, hey, come on, watch it. We don't blame.
It's
don't
my
blame
fault,
anyone.
Ross.
No,
my bad.
he's gonna try and blame the guest. Is what he's gonna try and do. But
well, you can call him out. We're close with him.
I think that
you want to call out Luke for not having a good, loud enough volume.
You should shoot him a text.
Yeah, you should.
Bring it back on. Let's talk about it.
Do a LinkedIn though. We fixed it.
Well, today's Thursday. Also, there's no more guests.
The show's over.
We're in the post show right now. Great work by this whole team. Before we get into the post show, shout out to Ellie, shout out to Ross, shout out to Quincy, shout out to JR,
and shout out to you. And
shout out to you.
And if you as well. And if you like yourself and you like this show and you like the industry, you like getting a raise, you like getting promoted, this is the show to subscribe to, ladies and gentlemen. We can't guarantee those things here, but it will get you in a better spot in your career. So give us a follow on YouTube, subscribe, and then LinkedIn, follow Break Entering Media, turn on post notifications every Tuesday, Wednesday, and
Thursday, which is today. Today is Thursday, which means
content.
For this crew, it's pretty much the weekend. So where should we begin?
Who's got plans this weekend?
Gino, maybe we start with you.
Okay. So no plans this weekend. I will be going out though this Saturday. I'm excited. Maybe tomorrow night too, but definitely Saturday night. I am thrilled to announce I will be going out this Saturday. Probably looking in the Lower East Side area. Jack, ever been there? I'm excited for that.
It's like you just turn on the street. This is the thing that podcasting gets a bad rap for. Two white guys talking about their weekend plans in New York.
Oh man. Well, you asked. You asked the question.
I did ask. And, I am going tonight. March Madness kicks off this weekend, Gino. The games I think have probably already started. That would be a good idea if. For next Thursday,
mini box,
having the game scores, that would have been a good idea next year. I am going to watch the Illinois basketball game tonight. They are the 3 seed. They play against Penn. And
what time is that at?
It's at 9:20 p.m. Eastern. I know, it's a nightmare. Thank goodness we don't have the stream tomorrow.
This one I feel like I can miss it because
the Illini are 25.5-point favorites. We should be able to coast, but that's what I got going on. Ross.
I think the production team is getting as far away from y'all on the Lower East Side, and we're going to get bushwicked this weekend.
Oh, you guys are meeting up without us?
More on that will come on Tuesday.
Wow. I posted this on LinkedIn today.
Okay.
I posted the cool kid crew sitting over there as far away from us as possible.
You got bushwick plans?
They got, but everyone nodded.
JR nodded, yes.
I would like to bring on a special guest as there's breaking news coming out of this production crew that JR has a double header this weekend.
Oh, what does that mean? What does
He's
that
coming
mean?
on to further explain what
Here we
his
go.
double header means.
JR, double header.
Well, doubleheader is a classic Friday to Saturday, and you kind of just keep it moving. You never stop. Back in the day when I used to play college baseball, we'd play doubleheaders, 7-inning, 9-inning, so it's kind of like that. Production crew, Friday before our doubleheader begins, we're going to get Ross's eyebrows done, so stay tuned for some Ross eyebrow content.
We'll need a before and after Ross's eyebrows, ladies and gentlemen.
Ross, I believe he's threading his eyebrows, if my sources are correct. I'm getting nods.
That is confirmed.
That is confirmed. Ellie, anything else? Anything else from you? What a segment, by the way. Yesterday, really well received. The girls' room.
Girls'
segment with
corner.
Ellie, well done on that. How'd you feel about that, too?
I feel really good. I got a lot of family group chat texts. My grandma is on LinkedIn, so I'm really hoping she starts to engage with the I need all the likes I can get. So
Love that.
You know, I'm really hoping she.
And then anything you're excited about this weekend for anyone that's sticking around?
I'm so extremely excited to get bushwhacked with the production crew.
Bushwhacked.
Is that the term?
I don't know if you can say that on live stream. I don't know if that's.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know if the FCC allows that.
Okay.
Bushwick. Okay.
I'm excited for you guys. I think we just got to put a note out there. Like, we worked really hard on this show. Like,
Thanks.
when we look, they're working hard.
Yeah,
hard work pays off.
That's
and
right.
it's work hard, play hard. We're gonna have fun this weekend.
This company,
family.
At this family, we work hard, but we play hard.
Yes, we do.
That's always the sign of a great. Okay, Ross. Well, appreciate everyone. That's the last stream of this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. We're live on LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. You can also find this after the fact on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. And then we're also on Instagram at Breaking Entering Media for the best campaigns, best stories in the biz, and the best people in the biz as well. Thank you to all the guests that came on today. Ross Martin, president of Known, Stacey, Gersten, and Courtney Worthman are the co-founders of Main Character. Luke McKelvey is the co-founder of MIRIMAR with his brother John, the Cohen brothers of advertising. Kendra Barnett is a senior tech reporter at ADWEEK. All joined the show today. If you missed it, if you're just joining now, go back, listen to what they had to say. But thank you all for the time and enjoy the rest